One-year-old Uber Eats delivery driver in Superior Court after he allegedly raped the woman who waited for her order. Western Mass News reporter Wesley Days was downtown in court today, and he has those details.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the defendant be continued to be found dangerous by the court.
Danger over delivery.
When you read the police report, what really stands out is the lack of documentation about the use of physical force.
21-year-old Colombian national Robert Rodriguez Melendez in court accused of rape. The victim, a woman waiting for her food to be delivered by a female Uber Eats driver. The woman in the driver's profile, allegedly his own mother.
When the delivery driver arrived, it was a male party rather than the female party listed on the delivery driver's profile. The driver did not speak English, but told the named victim that she needed a 4-digit code in order to complete the delivery.
That's when trouble started. The victim allegedly let him in out of the cold and called her Spanish-speaking friend on a 3-way call to Uber tech support.
At some point during the call, the man gained possession of the victim's phone and disconnected the call.
The hang-up led to horror. Eventually, the rape in a nearby bathroom ended apparently due to the victim's Spanish-speaking friend calling her incessantly.
She reported that she picked up her phone, called Miss Maldonado back, and asked her to tell the suspect to leave.
Days after he fled the attack, police tracked the illegal immigrant down. His case moved from district to Superior Court. Prosecutors want him behind bars, but if the court disagrees, they push for.
I would ask for $150,000 bail, a GPS, home confinement, as well as a stay away from the victim.
Defense didn't budge on the other bail requirements, but the cash was a concern.
We'd ask for a bail around $5,000 to $10,000.
Reporting for Western Mass News, I'm Wesley Days.
And we understand that the judge has ruled that he was denying bail for the defendant. In the meantime, Uber is out with a statement for us tonight. What's been reported is horrifying, and we take these reports very seriously. We've been in touch with police and banned the delivery account from the Uber platform.